Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of After the Whistle. You're going to enjoy episode 17 of the podcast. We're going to talk Kingston basketball. We're going to talk UT basketball, and we've got to talk about the drama that led up to the location of UT's upcoming bowl game this year. We have special guest Brady Luttrell in the house. We're excited to have him on the podcast. And finally, we're having a lot of fun with this shout out and shout at segment. So we hope that you will like and listen and enjoy another edition of After the Whistle. Welcome back to After the Whistle. I'm your co-host, Jody Meduski, alongside Brad Luttrell, Jeff Huffman. Guys, let's review Kingston basketball from a week ago, starting with the Alcoa game. Brad, hard-fought game by the Yellow Jackets. Talk a little bit about the game.
Yeah, Jody, first half, Alcoa was missing a few of their football players, which helped us out a little bit. But, man, first half, we played some good ball. Up 8 points at halftime. I think it was 32-24 is what the score was. And, man, you go to the locker room feeling really good. And him come out third quarter, and I think we only scored 8 in the third quarter, which that hurt. But still going the fourth quarter, Joe, we was only down 1. And, man, that fourth quarter, Alcoa lived at the free throw line. That freshman kid, Cates, they have, he's a bull. And, man, he got to the free throw line a lot, and he capitalized on it. And the score ended up being 70-58. You think it wasn't that close of a game, but it was a really close game. It wasn't really a 12-point game. And they just hit their free throws down the stretch, make it look worse than what it was. But, man, we really had a shot in that game. Had a very good shot.
Very good shot, man. They played well, and hey, you down 1 late in the game. You couldn't ask for anything better. And it was a great effort by the Jackets. They come up a little short, Huff, but overall, great effort by the Yellow Jackets.
It was a great effort. You know, Alcoa, just like they are in football, you know, they're always a good basketball team as well. So you knew going in it was going to be a tough task for the Jackets. And, you know, at halftime, you know, you really thought there was hey, man, we got a chance to get a win tonight. So they play, hats off to them. They played hard, come out. You know, tough third quarter. They kind of switched the momentum a little bit. But then fourth quarter, you know, started off strong. But like you said, Alcoa shot a ton of free throws and was able to pull away late. So still a good game for the Jackets, though, even though they lost. Can't argue with the effort, so maybe they can get them next game.
Well, guys, then the following game was the Fulton game, and we had some snowy weather. The game got canceled. That game at Fulton has been moved to January 16th now. So, Brad, let's talk a little bit about the game Friday night at home against Scott County. What an awesome game. If you weren't there, you missed probably one of the best games that I've seen in years.
Yeah, Jody, it was electric atmosphere. You know, a lot of these high school games you go to, the atmosphere is not that great, and it's kind of just, you know, that kind of thing. But this one, you know, the cheerleaders were going at it. Scott County and Kingston's cheerleaders were trying to backflip each other, and that was awesome to see.
That was fun to watch.
And then the game was just, man, it was just back and forth. Now, Scott, they controlled most of the first 3 quarters. They were ahead by 18 going into the fourth quarter. And then, man, we slapped that press on them and forced a bunch of turnovers and got back in the game. And then right at the end of the game, hit a big shot to send it to overtime. And, Jody, that place was going crazy. That's the most, you know, Brady, he's been in high school. This is his junior year, and that's the loudest and most hype I've heard that gym since Brady's been in high school.
Now, I mean, I don't want to bring up back in my heyday, back in the 80s, but that's what it sounded like. I mean, the hats off to everybody. I mean, it was both sides were going at it. It was a great basketball game. Kingston was down a ton, and they fought back. Huff, man, you know, after 3 quarters, you're thinking it's not looking very good, and Kingston comes out and just makes all kinds of plays in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. I mean, what a game it was. You know, comes out. First quarter was pretty even match, really close. Second quarter was a tough quarter for the Jackets. Enabled Scott County to get their big lead that they had. Come out in the third quarter and a little bit back and forth. Entered the fourth quarter down big, 18, I believe.
Yes, sir.
And then that's when the action started. What a comeback. You know, like y'all said, the crowd's into it. Cheerleaders fired up. Everybody fired up. Kingston made a great comeback. Brady Luttrell with a monster 3 to tie it at the end of regulation. Big shot by that young man. And then, overtime, Scott County, Kingston had a chance late to take the lead. Fell short. Scott County, of course, hit the 3-pointer at the buzzer to give them the win. But what a game. I mean, hats off to everybody who played. They played hard. So, great effort by the kids. So you can't fault anything on that. Just a good high school basketball game.
Evenly matched, Brad. both sides. And hats off to the Scott County team, man. That's a good bunch. They coached well. And, dadgummit, I don't know how he made that shot at the end. But you gotta congratulate the kid. What a heck of a shot. But, man, our guys fought all the way to the end.
Yeah, Jody, the last 2 years we played Scott, we beat them twice last year, and both games were close. And then the district tournaments, they got us in overtime. And now this game, they get us in overtime. But that Morrow kid, Jody, he, you watch him, and sometimes you think, well, he's a pretty good player. But, man, I'll tell you what he does great. He gets great positioning for offensive rebounds, stuff like that. And he gets fouled a lot. He gets a lot of putbacks. And he's not a big three-point shooter, but when he does shoot them, they're in big moments. And, man, he just drained that one at the end. Well, actually, he drained one at the end of the third quarter on his first 3, and then he hit the game winner. And, man, you just got to give him credit. It was a hard shot. Shot McNally was all over him, right in his face. And, Jody, he was almost out of bounds on that one side when he let it go. And I thought, man, no way that's going in. And it was nothing but the bottom of the net.
Well, I got a chance to do the game on the radio, and I hope I didn't cramp Timpton's style up there. But when he let that thing go, from my view, I thought there's no way that's going in. And, golly bum, I don't know. I must have been a little cross-eyed or something, but it went in. But, man, credit to the Yellow Jackets for fighting back. We got in that full court press there in the fourth quarter and gave Scott County all kinds of fits. Man, we had turnover after turnover, outscored them 18 points to get it to overtime, and just a great overtime effort by both teams.
Well, just a quick shout out to you for your radio broadcast. You did a good job filling in for Landon. That was a good broadcast. I went back and listened to it. But here's something crazy to think about, Huff. We scored 4 points in the second quarter, and then the fourth quarter we scored 36. I mean, have you ever heard a stat like that?
I don't think I've heard anything like that before ever. 4 points in one quarter and in 36, and
yeah, that's just crazy.
That's just one of them crazy, unexplainable stats. That it made for an awesome ending. I'll say that.
Hats off again to the Yellow Jackets' hard-fought effort. I'm really looking forward to the next matchup. We'll go down there and take care of business. If we play a little better and don't have a 4-point second quarter, it should be a much better ball game.
Well, something else, Jody, that hurt us was we got 3 technicals, and I'm not saying they were good calls, bad calls, whatever, but guys,
that hurts.
That
hurts.
That's 2 free throws on the ball every time, and I think one of them was on a personal foul, so they actually got 4 free throws on the ball. That just kills you in a close game.
Well, and we talked about this earlier too. Both sides missed 14 free throws. That's a killer too, Huff.
It is. It's hard to do that and win a game, So you just got to focus on that. And Kingston's usually a pretty good free throw shooting team overall. So it's just hope you just chalk it up to one of them nights. But it's just improve on the free throws, and I think next time we can get them.
Well, Brad, I agree with you, man. 3 technical fouls in a game, that's hard to recover.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points that you give them, just,
That's free points.
It's free.
Yeah.
So, it's tough to overcome. But, hey, looking forward to this week's game. 3 games coming up this week. Talk a little bit about that real quick.
Yeah, Jody got a busy week this week. We've got Auburn Springs Monday night, and then we go to AE Tuesday night, which, Lord, that'll be tough. AE's athletic team, tough team to play, so that'll be tough. And then Thursday night, we got the Harriman Blue Devils coming to town, and everybody knows how big that game is, how big that rivalry is. So 3 games this week, and hopefully we can pull out 3 dubs, Huff.
Yeah, that'd be nice to get 3 wins this week. But 2 big county games and a big district game, so should be a fun week for the Jackets.
Well, and one other thing, Jody, article in the paper last week, Colt was talking about how loaded this district is this year, and, man, he's right. We've got a solid ball club, and guys, unless we pick it up, we might finish last in the district. Hopefully not, but, every night you're playing a tough team, and but like Colt said, they're going to have to play well to beat us. So if one of them have an off night, we can sneak up and beat somebody. But us and Scott are just evenly matched, and then you got Fulton, Alcoa, and AE. All three of them are probably top 10 state. So
it's tough.
It's just a brutal district.
It's tough, man. It is, and everybody's going to have to be on their game. That's all there is to it.
No doubt. It's probably one of the toughest. It's probably the toughest district in the state.
It could be.
In AA, I'd say it's one of the tougher ones.
No
sure.
question. I mean, like you said, Alcoa, Austin East, and Fulton are all three basketball powerhouses.
Yep.
And then Kingston's got a solid club as well as Scott County. So I mean, there's no easy win in this
No
district.
easy nights. They always talk about the SEC football. There's no easy weekends. There's no easy night in this district either.
Guys, good recap, and looking forward to the games coming up this week. We'll be back with our player interview. Welcome back to After the Whistle. We are joined by junior point guard / guard number 2, Brady Luttrell. Brady, thanks for being on the podcast.
Yeah, Joey, thank you.
Hey, man, tell us a little bit about the season, how it's gone so far. You guys are 3-2, got a big game coming up this Friday night. Just talk a little bit about the season.
Yeah, man, it's been good so far. A couple slips, but our focus has been just trying to compete every play. That's all we can do, just go out there and compete. And, big game Friday. It's a big game. Can't overlook Scott High. They got a good team this year, playing good so far. I know our fans will be there and everything, so it'll be a good game Friday night.
Really excited about that game, man. It's they're coming to our house Friday night, and they're 6-0 on the year. Good ball team. You guys going to have to play well to beat them.
Yeah, we are for sure.
All right, Brady, man, good luck to you and your teammates Friday night. Go out and get a dub.
All right, thank you.
Brad, you got a couple questions for him?
Yeah, Brady, you got to start 3 guards. You got Kobe Raymer, you, and Harper Neal. Sometimes Colt lets you bring it up. Sometimes he lets Kobe bring it up. Sometimes he lets Harper bring it up. It just all depends on the situation. So talk about, which one do you like better? You like having the ball in your hands and trying to create, or do you like being off the ball better? And then talk about what your responsibilities are in each situation.
Well, yeah, it's always good to have a variation in a number of people who can bring up the court because, against teams we play a lot of full court press, a lot of man-to-man press. That's the easiest way to, get gas throughout a game. So to have somebody take the load off, that's always a good thing for sure. And as far as my responsibilities with the ball, I'm always just trying to be the most solid I can, try not to turn the ball over, give the other team easy buckets because, in our district, you've got to be your focus, not giving them any easies because play some good teams, can't give them wide open layups or anything like that. So just trying to be solid with the ball and not turning it over.
Yeah, it's good to have some guards that are versatile and can do a little bit of both. Also, I was going to ask you, we was talking last week with Harper about when he played for the Celtics with Jody. Do you and your buddies sit around and talk about when you were 6, 7, 8 years old and played? And it's fun. Middle school is fun. High school is great. But, man, when you first start playing when you're 6, 7, that's just a great time. So do you and your buddies ever sit around and talk about that?
Oh, yeah. Me and my friends still talk about specific games from a long time ago, hitting this shot, winning this game, different things like that. It was always fun. But that year, the Mavericks did go 12-0 or undefeated champions. So we always win when.
That might be the best team in KOC history.
I don't think anybody can compare, really.
Huff, you got a couple questions?
Yeah, I do. Well, Brady, I've known you a very long time since birth. What you growing up playing, all your sports. But I know basketball is the best sport that you love the most. And I know when you was little, you was always in the gym playing basketball. And when you wasn't in the gym, I'd always see you out in the driveway, working on your game, playing all the time, which is awesome to see because that's a lost art nowadays. So I know that showed very good work ethic as a young age for you. So is that something that you've taken pride in over the years to doing all that back then, keeping it up, work ethic to continue in your game?
Yeah, oh yeah. Basketball's always been an obsession for me, just the little things about it because when you're not born with just the athleticism or the God-given athleticism, as some people are, you got to work on the basics, work on little things, finishing with both hands, just being able to shoot from specific spots on the court. And that's always something I've taken pride in, just working on the basics. Because some people are more athletic than others, and nothing you can do about it. But you can always work on basics and mastering parts of your game that you need to work on for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm going to say good work ethic, that's always great. Also, you've been a combo guard, point guard / shooting guard. What do you think is the strengths of your game that you do best? And what is something that you feel like you still need to work on a little bit to improve your overall game?
Yes, something I've always been pretty good at. I've always worked on my shot a lot, obviously, just trying to be the best shooter I can from the outside. Work a lot on free throws. Those are ones you got to work on. And finishing around the rim, just those basics, finishing with both hands like I talked about just a second ago. Those are probably my strengths. Obviously, weaknesses and things I need to work on. I also need to put a few pounds on. That always helps, throughout of a long season and through longer games. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, defensively, still can work a little bit, being a little bit quicker on defense, battle on every play on defense, and get in the weight room. That's what I would say the most.
All righty, Brady. Well, good luck to you guys the rest of the season.
All right, thank you, man.
All right, Jody, you got something else for him?
Yeah, man, I just want to say, man, of course, I've known you since birth myself, and like Huff said, we've known you for a long time, and man, I just want to tell you, it's been a treat watching you play all these years, and to watch you grow as a person and as a player has been awesome to see. You're a great leader for this team, man, and I appreciate what you do. I know that we push you hard a lot of times as dads, and the best uncle in the world, by the way. But man, it's fun to watch, and I just hope that you're having a good time. I can tell you are just by watching how you play the game, and you do it the right way, man. So I appreciate you.
All right, thank you, Jody.
Pump the jam, pump it up while your feet are stumping, and the jam is pumping. Look and hear the crowd is jumping. Pump it up a little more.
Welcome back to After the Whistle, guys. Let's talk UT sports. Let's talk, as bad as I hate to at the moment, the UT basketball game against Memphis. Guys, yuck.
Do we have to?
As bad as I hate to, that could be one of the worst performances I've ever seen in college basketball in my entire life, Brad.
Well, Jody, I get on Virginia fans all the time on Twitter, and we go back and forth about how boring of a brand of basketball they play. And they're like, well, we won the championship last year. I'm like, well, the year before you got beat by a 16 seed, so what are you trying to say? But anyways, I get on them all the time about how boring they are to watch. And, guys, I felt like we was watching Virginia yesterday because Tennessee looked like Virginia, except they didn't win. Good gracious. 25% from the field and 15% from three-point range. Jody, me, you, and Huff might as well have been out there shooting because we couldn't have done any worse.
4 of 26 from three-point land, guys. I mean, that you're Division I athletes. I mean,
and you're at home.
And you're in your house, packed house. Buddies of mine spent a bunch of money, and to shoot the basketball that bad was very hard to watch, Huff.
It was brutal, man. I mean, you definitely, the old phrase, you hate to see it. Well, I definitely hated to see it Saturday. I mean, 31-game win streak, I believe, was on the line.
Yes.
And we lost it at home to Memphis, of all teams.
Good grief.
Oh, my gosh. It was just awful. And like you guys have already touched on, the shooting was just horrendous. I've never seen anything like that in a long time. Definitely that's the worst game I've seen under Barnes since he's been here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it was just everybody. To me, the only player that played halfway decent Saturday was the freshman Josiah James. I thought he had a pretty good game for a freshman. And he kept him in at the first half. It was just a brutal game. Fulkerson, he helped a little bit. But, you got nothing. Pons helped a little late. But you got absolutely zero from Bowden and Turner. And this team with the post play that we don't have, we got to rely on our guards to carry us. And Saturday, man, they wasn't there, and so then that's why we lost.
Well, Huff, and you talk about Pons, I'll tell you that in the first half, him getting those 2 quick fouls, Jody, that killed us because he sat the rest of the first half, and he couldn't get in the groove of the game until late. And that killed us right there.
Yes,
We're
it
gonna score
did.
the rest
It
being on
did.
the bench.
Well, I don't even know if he made it 5 minutes before he had to come out,
Right.
6 minutes at the most. And that's a long time to sit, and then you sit through halftime, and then you got to come back out there and try to be, top notch after halftime. But guys, hey, it don't get any easier, Brad. We got Cincinnati coming up, and we better learn to finish and put the ball in the hoop. We better learn real quick.
Well, like Huff said, Turner and Bowden's our seniors. We've got to rely on those guys. And guys, I don't know if Turner. I know his shoulder's injured, and I'm sure that has something to do with it. But he's just shooting the ball horrific right now. And if he and Bowden do not show up, we'll probably be a bubble team. But if they, guys, we got it in us. I mean, the Washington game, the BCU
Right.
game. I mean, you saw us play very good basketball, so you know it's in us. But you can't have another performance like we had yesterday.
Not at all.
No question.
Hey, let's switch gears, guys. Let's talk UT football and the bowl game. Guys, try to help me figure out what the heck happened a few days ago. We got people out here buying tickets and getting rooms and Airbnb up here in Nashville thinking we're going to Music City, Huff, and people going crazy. And then what was it, an hour later?
Yes, and then I thought we were going to the Music City Bowl, going to Nashville. You see a lot of local media and, lots of tweets and, from different people in the national media. So according to their sources, saying done deal, Tennessee, Louisville, and the Music City Bowl. Then you hear some, a little bit of uproar from Tennessee fans about, going to Nashville, and they thought they were going to get to go to Florida.
I'm glad we're not going to Nashville, by the way.
And then next thing you know, you see something saying, hold on, there's some backroom negotiations going on. This team's going to this team going to that team, and then next thing I know, we're in the Gator Bowl. So, I don't know.
Breaking news, you hear it here first, Brad. We're going to Jacksonville, and we're playing Indiana. What do you think about that matchup?
Well, Jody, it was crazy because all of us were bummed out about Nashville because we were wanting to go to the game if it was in Florida, and we all heard we're going to Nashville. And we're like, good grief!
Nobody wants to go to
Yeah.
Nashville at the end of December,
Right?
dude. No.
Set through that crappy Titans stadium. I mean, nobody wants to do that.
Oh,
So we was all hyped up when we found out we was going to Gator Bowl because we're going to make that trip. So that was good for us. But some other people, they had already bought tickets for the Music City Bowl, so they're bummed out. And I understand that. They're out a lot of money right now unless they get them sold. So that's a bad break for them. But I honestly think Coach Fulmer, he heard the fans' reaction. A lot of the fans wanting to go to Florida. And I think he called the commissioner up and said, hey, look here. If you can get us down there in Jacksonville, let's do it.
let's do it because I'm like you guys, man. When I heard Nashville, I was like, man, I'm staying out in the parking lot. And so that was good on Fulmer's part to get that changed. Whatever worked out, I'm glad he did. It's much better to go to Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jody, a lot of people are bitching about saying we're playing Indiana or playing Indiana. Well, the other Music City Bowl was Louisville. It wasn't much better. I mean, the matchup wouldn't have been any better. I mean, really?
That's right. So, Huff, I'm glad we're going south.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No question about it. I think so, too. I'm glad as well. And not only that, I'm glad for the players because, they get to go play a game in warm weather, enjoy Jacksonville, place where they don't get to go much. We play – they get to go to Nashville and play Vandy every other year. So, we had them at home this year, but, they know what it's like in Nashville. So,
Correct.
that's a bus ride for them. At least this time they get to hop in a plane, go play in some warm weather, enjoy a little bit of the beach.
Hopefully warm weather.
Yeah, well, I used to live in Jacksonville, so it'll be a lot warmer than it will be here. I promise you that.
Hey, I seen the other day it was 82 degrees down there.
Yeah.
Nice,
So-
nice.
So, worst case scenario, we should be high 60s. I'm hoping it's in the 70s down there. So, we'll see. But overall, I think it's nice that we get to go to Jacksonville.
Well, you're not taking your parka and your
No,
gloves
exactly.
and the toboggan to Jacksonville. So, you're leaving all that stuff home. So I'm excited about that. All right, guys, good job on the recap of the terrible Tennessee-Memphis ball game. I hope I never see another one of those basketball games in my life.
Now, and one more thing, it just aggravates me. We lost our home winning streak to Penny of all people.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now we got to listen to his mouth for a year, Jody.
oh.
Now, big game this week, though. Bounce back on the road at Cincinnati. Need to take care of business in that one.
We got to take care of business on that one. Welcome back to After the Whistle. Now it's time for our final segment of the show. We call the shout out and the shout at section, guys. Let me get us started. All right, guys, I got a couple of shout outs I'd like to give first to the Kingston football team. Man, a bunch of guys got awards this year. My shout out goes to Trey Schultz, Landon Diggs, Dante Inman, and Preston Quiet for making the 2-3A all-region defensive team, and also to Elijah Hill and Marcus Rose, guys. They made the region offensive team. Congratulations to those men. And also, we got to mention the honorable mention team. Cam and Colton Basler, Will Moore, Luke Borm, Bradley Lurie, and Seth Strahan. Guys, congratulations to all those dudes right there, man. That's impressive right there. Good job.
Yes, it is.
Brad, you got one?
Yeah, I got a couple, Jody. First goes to Luka Doncic, the player for the Mavericks. He had an impressive week, and he has 2 40-point triple-doubles, and he is the first person in NBA history to do that before turning the age of 21. That's pretty impressive.
That's strong.
That's very strong. And also, guys, future Tennessee quarterback Harrison Bailey, he won a state championship last night for Marietta High School in Georgia. Watched that kid play several times. Jody, he's real impressive, so give a shout-out to him, and hopefully he'll do great things for the Volunteers. Huff?
Yeah. Good shout-out, guys. And again, on the football players, well-deserved accolades for a great season, so happy that they got the honors they deserve. Well, my shout-out this week is going to go for junior guard Brady Luttrell with a big-time clutch three-point shot to send the game in that epic thriller overtime game against Scott County. Big-time three-pointer for Brady, down 3, end of regulation, drained it, sent it to overtime. Caps off a good week for him where he scored 23 and 21 points this week. So, again, good shout-out goes to Brady for his week this week and the big shot.
Nice. That was good. Guys, I got one more shout-out I'd like to give, and I know you guys don't really care about it, but I'm going with Duck Hodges.
Big Duck.
Quarterback for the Steelers, man. He is rolling. He's an undrafted quarterback. Guys, his signing bonus was $1,000, okay? $1,000.
That's crazy.
So hopefully he's going to get paid. He's won 3 games in a row now. And, hey, we're playing the Bills tonight. We got to have a big victory tonight.
Jody, he just did a pick, though. Let you know.
Did he really? Okay, but whatever. It's still early. It's still early. Okay, I got a shout out, man, and I didn't know this the other night, but to my radio buddy, Jody Tipton, I've heard through the grapevine that you don't feel that Dale Murphy is deserving of the Hall of Fame. Hey, dog, he needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Back-to-back MVPs, 5-time Gold Glove winner, 7-time All-Star, 2,000 hits, 1,200 RBIs. I mean, and I can throw out some more stats if you want to. That's worthy to me, guys. Oh, and I forgot the main important stat, 398 home runs. So, guys, I think it's worthy. Dale should be in the Hall of Fame.
Totally agree, Jody.
Definitely.
All right, guys, good job on the podcast. We hope you enjoyed this one, and we hope that you'll listen. Hey, we might even have a little treat for you in a couple of weeks. We won't do next week because of Christmas, but we'll be in Jacksonville, fellas.
Yeah, we might do one from downtown Jacksonville. Stay tuned.
Coming home with the hardware. We'll be back in 2 weeks. See you on the radio.